At Louisiana Tech, Derek Dooley had been the only person in all of Division I who held the dual role of head football coach and athletics director. While that certainly makes it easier for him to understand some of the things Tennessee AD Mike Hamilton faces with the Volunteers, it did not make it easier to come to Knoxville.
You know, every time you leave, it's tough. I think most fans would say, man, that must have been real easy to take the Tennessee job over Louisiana Tech, but what they don't know is when you put your heart into a program and you give everything you got to the players, that it's a hard thing to leave. We were really building something there at Tech and putting in a real new structure at every level of their football program, and I think the benefits were going to start showing. So I was really excited to see where we were headed, and we were about to embark on a $20 million facility expansion to boot. So that made it tough to leave because you felt like you didn't finish the job in some ways. But probably the hardest thing was to look the players in the eye, people who've been so committed to you, people who you feel like you've touched their lives in certain ways, and tell them goodbye and thank you for all they did. It was a hard thing to do.
At Louisiana Tech, Dooley inherited a team that had gone 3-10 the year before, and in 2 seasons led the Bulldogs to their first bowl win in 3 decades.
What are some of the things you were able to do there that you hope to do here?
Well, I think it's starting with putting some values in the program on how the players compete and how the team represents the institution. Before you even talk about winning and losing, I think it's important to talk about who we are and what we represent. And that's what we've been working on here the first couple of months on the job.
Well, you're no stranger to the SEC. You were an assistant on Nick Saban's staff at LSU, went to the Dolphins. What was your experience with Nick Saban like each step of the way, and what might you be taking from that we'll see here at Tennessee?
Well, I have to say that I wouldn't be in this position right now if it weren't for Nick Saban. So I'm very appreciative and grateful for all he did for me and the opportunity he gave me. I've always felt like that it was as good a training ground for a young coach that you could ever experience. And it certainly is not an easy work environment. It was tough. It was demanding, but he made you a better football coach. And I felt like I thrived in that system, and I always wanted to do more, and he was able to give me more. So structurally and philosophically, we'll be very similar to what we did at both of those places, but I also know that I'm a very different personality, and I'm going to have my personality on this program, and we're going to do some things differently than we did the others. But I think from a big picture standpoint, there's a lot of similarities.
The most important similarity, of course, would be winning.